Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're going to slow things down just a bit and focus on something pretty much all of us worry about at some point. We're looking at just one single profound sentence, literally 15 words. But within those 15 words is a total game changer for how we look at our lives, our worth, and the relentless ticking of the clock. We're calling this explainer the expiration date of aspiration. As we get into this, I want you to think about your own life. Think about those invisible boundaries you might have set up around your own potential without even realizing it.
Okay, let's dive right in. Do our aspirations actually have an expiration date? It's a huge question, right? Like, does getting older legitimately cap our human potential? Society is always pushing these narratives on us about when we're supposed to hit certain milestones. We totally internalize that ticking clock. And it creates this quiet, lingering fear that our window for doing something meaningful or completely reinventing ourselves is eventually going to slam shut. We kind of start to believe that our drive to want more goes bad, like a gallon of milk left in the fridge way too long. So keep that big question in your back pocket as we unpack things today.
So here's the exact text we're going to be digging into. I want to read the whole thing, and I want you to just listen to the rhythm of it. Let the weight of it really sink in. You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream. It sounds super simple, doesn't it? But man, it packs an absolute psychological punch. It hits right at the core of our deepest insecurities about aging and staying relevant, serving up a pretty uncompromising antidote to that whole fear of being past your prime.
All right, part one, the constraint. Before this text tells us what we can do, it actually has to tear down what we falsely believe we cannot do.
And the text does this by taking a sledgehammer to our temporal limits. Too old. I mean, it's a phrase we hear all the time, and honestly, we probably say it to ourselves too. But here, too old isn't treated as some biological fact. It's called out for what it is, a societal illusion, a totally invalid constraint on the human mind. Sure, your age might dictate how fast you can run a marathon, but the text makes a massive point here. Age has absolutely zero jurisdiction over your ability to imagine a different future.
Let's zoom in on the word never, right at the beginning. You are never. Notice it doesn't say you are rarely too old or usually you're not too old. Nope, it goes with a hard, absolute never. By dropping that specific word, it leaves literally zero exceptions for age to be used as a barrier. It's just a sweeping rejection of the ticking clock. It demands that we completely drop whatever chronological baggage we brought with us to the table.
Moving on to part two, the action. Once that mental roadblock is shattered, we don't just sit there and avoid doing nothing. We pivot straight into active engagement.
Which leads us perfectly into the phrase, to set another goal. Now, why do you think the word another is in there? Why not just say, set a goal? Well, throwing another in there is actually a brilliant little psychological maneuver. It honors what you've already achieved. It's saying, hey, you've lived, you've tried things, and you've had wins before. You aren't starting from scratch. By telling you to set another goal, it's demanding ongoing momentum. It's a reminder that the gears of your ambition don't have to rust out. Goals are tactical, right? They require steps, planning, and real, grounded action that anchors us right here in the present.
And that brings us to part three, the aspiration. Because, let's face it, a well-lived life is about way more than just crossing practical goals off a checklist. We're lifting off into pure imagination now.
This slide really nails the beautiful contrast the text is setting up. On the left side, we've got setting another goal, which, like we said, is super practical, grounded, and action-oriented. But then over on the right, we have dreaming a new dream, which is totally aspirational, limitless, and completely ignores the rules of logistics. And the crazy thing is, these two pathways work together perfectly. Your goal is the stepping stone, but the dream? That's the horizon. You're never too old to do the practical work, and you are for sure never too old for the breathtaking imagination that actually gives that work its ultimate meaning.
Now look at the word new in that final phrase, a new dream. It's not telling you to go revive some old dream or to stubbornly hold on to something that just didn't pan out when you were younger. It is enthusiastically pushing you toward an entirely fresh start, no matter what your past looks like. It's basically handing you a permission slip to change your mind, shift your desires, and birth a completely novel vision for yourself. Your ability to come up with something new is an infinite resource. It simply doesn't expire.
So when you put the whole thing together, you realize this isn't just some nice quote to stick on a bumper sticker. It's a highly structured, three-step blueprint for lifelong vitality. Step 1, reject age as a barrier. Clear that mental roadblock. Step 2, set a pragmatic goal. Get your boots on the ground and build some forward momentum. And step 3, dream an infinite new dream. giving all that momentum an amazing direction. This is a legitimate roadmap for handling the passage of time without losing your spark.
Ultimately, the absolute biggest takeaway here is that the future is entirely in your hands. It strips away all the classic excuses, being too old, too tired, too late, and puts the responsibility for your fulfillment right back on your own shoulders. So I want to leave you with a challenge to wrap up this explainer. If age really isn't the limit, what is your new dream? Seriously, take a minute and think about it today. Reject the constraint, set that next goal, and dream the dream. The clock is definitely ticking, yeah, but your power to reinvent yourself, that remains absolutely 100% unexpired.